might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning. Mm. Good morning. How is everyone doing this morning? Today is the first day of November. It is 7:21 on the East Coast. So we are going to get started. Not going to waste any time. Let me put up our timer. And we are not going to go any longer than 30 minutes, right? So just wanted to mention our live shows, which are Sundays at 2:15, software explorations. Tuesday nights, like last night, we have Q&A sessions at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have, on Thursday nights, more software explorations. We're going to be going into Cyprus tomorrow. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. And then on our pre-recorded, we have Candid Conversations on Mondays. And we have software explorations. Today, we are going to be going into part 2 of diving into Docker. And then we have the Bug Bite on Fridays, which is, this Friday is going to be talking about the 23andMe credential stuffing. All right. So let me fix this chat thing real quick. So good morning, Andrew Allen. And good morning, Brandon. How are you guys doing this morning? Great to have you guys are up early. Man, that is awesome. You guys are probably getting ready to get to work and stuff like that. So let's start the morning off right. And you know what? I left my coffee, but we will power through without the coffee. I will be working off your energy this morning. So let's go. All right. So let's get into the stories real quick. And I'm still figuring out how often I'm going to do these morning shows, and I'm probably going to do a mix between news and like some coding practices in the morning. But I'm going to figure that out next week. So let's get into it. All right. So let's do it like this. Here. Move this around. All right. Let's go right here. All right. So let's do this. The first thing that I wanted to mention is go with that right there. So first thing I wanted to mention, I was scrolling through LinkedIn yesterday, right? And I read this from, it says a recruiter that codes is his title on LinkedIn. And it says, pro tip, don't include full paragraphs in your resume. No one wants to read a research paper to figure out your experience. Instead, include a section on your resume called My Top 5 Hot Takes and put your most controversial opinions on there. Every recruiter and hiring manager loves a good debate. So I didn't even waste my time going through the comments. Here's my take and idea on this, right? I'm not really sure I'm not even sure what the purpose of this post is, if it's trying to be funny or something like that. but there are so many people who are out there. They are applying for countless jobs on a daily basis. They're trying to figure out what to put on their resume, what to make them be seen, and then when they're applying and they have and you see like a post which has like thousands of applications of applicants, and you're like, oh, my resume or my application is gonna be drowning in a sea, you know. So then I come across a post where it's like trying to be funny, but at the same time, many people they don't know, and I I wouldn't be surprised if someone out of desperation went and tried this, and then it just puts them in a worse position, right? So, like I always say, um, be very careful about the data that you take in. Um, we have to analyze everything, right? We have to analyze everything, and don't just I don't know, just don't like listen to people because they have whatever it is. Like it might seem that they have a lot of likes, a lot of posts, or whatever, right? But I say even with myself, like I even question myself. I'll think something and then or I might say something and I go back and I review it. I'm very critical of myself to make sure that I'm not putting out bad information out there. And when you learn new information and it contradicts with what you originally thought, if what that new information is correct, go back and update it and let the people know that you share the information with that. Hey, I learned something new and I see it a little bit differently. And here is the update. Like we always have to be the same way we update our resumes and based off the experience we get, we need to update our thought processes as well, right? So I just wanted to, I'm not even going to show this article, but I just wanted to throw that out there that, just be careful and always looking like be very very mission oriented, looking forward. um don't get distracted by nonsense that people might put out there. All right, so let's keep going with that. All right, so the first story that we are going to get to, let me move this up a little bit. Okay, so the first story we're going to get to, we are going to be talking about, well, happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful night trick or treating with your kids, or maybe trick or treating with yourself, or maybe going to a Halloween party, right? But, but, guess what? The price of Halloween candy is on the rise. So, let's zoom in a bit. All right, so Halloween candy prices get scary. And before I even start reading this, right? Uh, you know, there are kids in the neighborhood who go trick or treating and stuff like that. And I was at the store the other day. I'm like, okay, we should get some candy for these little kids so we can do them stuff, right? And I saw the price of a bag of candy. It's like double now. I'm like, what? This is crazy, right? So I was like, I'm not even gonna worry about it. Told my wife, hey, you figure out the candy for these kids and stuff like that, right? So let's read it real quick, and then I'll let you know how we settle this. So Halloween candy prices get scary. That's probably a little bit too loud for this early morning. All right, so it says boo. Shopping for Halloween candy is a bit scarier this year as prices spike thanks to inflation and ingredient shortages. Americans are expected to spend 9.2% more on trick or treat sweets this year. That's far higher than overall food price inflation, which sits around 5.8%. Sugar and cocoa shortages are also driving up prices, with wholesale cocoa prices the highest in more than 40 years. And Halloween won't be the end of the story. Higher price hikes higher prices will likely stick around for Christmas sweets and even Valentine's Day candy, one expert told Bloomberg. American consumers will shed out an estimated 3.6 billion on candy this Halloween, up from 3.1 billion last year. I couldn't help it on that one. That one, that's crazy. 3.1. So we spent 3.1 billion dollars on one day event, and this year we're at the 3.6, and I contributed to it. The states seeing the highest jumps in candy prices are Maryland at 13.56%, Pennsylvania at 13.15%, and New Jersey at 12.3%. Oh my God, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. You know what? Sorry, kids. No more Halloween going forward. This is that's 9.2%. A 9.2% more on candy, right? Food price inflation alone is 5.8%. So how like that's already a lot of money. And now to buy candy for one day, we're at 9.2%. And then living in Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, this is crazy. Like on candy prices, like stuff that it's not even good for us, and it's crazy. Anyway, let's see if there's any of these things here real quick. So this one says, pro tip, buy off season. That's not a bad idea. Or I might not just buy at all because you shouldn't be eating candy anyways. All right. So let's see. Sugar and Coke and cacao supply chain issues, high priced candy. Back in my trick or treat years, I made sure to create my own supply chain distribution and saved my candy until January, sold it for a full profit at school. Oh, look at that.
Message.
And let's go with one more. It looks like the steel industry is not the only industry with supply chain fluctuations. Candy prices are up due to sugar and cocoa supply constraints. Always a great night, but a little more expensive this year. Comment your favorite candy below. I'm a sucker for the Milky Way. All right. So this is what my wife did, right? She bought one bag of candy and she bought some apples and bananas and gave out candy, apples, and bananas. And believe it or not, a lot of the kids favored the fruits. So it is what it is, right? So great job to my wife on that. Andrew with the womp womp. I'm going to, you know what? When I saw Andrew subscribe, I figured he finally got over me bad mouthing VS Code, and then he probably heard me recommend someone to download VS Code, and he finally subscribed. And I so much, you know what, Andrew, this is for you.
I appreciate you.
I'm just messing, Andrew. All right, let's get to the next story. Time is running. Time is running. So let's go to our next story. Is Walmart gets a $9 billion makeover. All right, so Walmart is overhauling nearly a third of its 4,500 US stores in a bid to boost sales on non-essential items, reports CNN. A multi-year undertaking that will cost more than $9 billion. The first 117 revamped stores opened Monday with better lighting, clearer signage, dollar shops for affordable seasonal items, and touch and feel displays meant to encourage customers to interact with home products. Like many retailers, Walmart has seen sale of non-grocery items drop off post pandemic due to high inflation and other economic concerns. So, This is interesting because I don't know if having prettier stores is going to combat the higher prices due to inflation and other economic concerns, right? So, and now the other question is, right, who's going to pay for that $9 billion makeover? I would assume it's going to be us, the consumers, who are going to be eating that cost. And not to mention, remember that Walmart recently gave their employees a new quote unquote minimum wage. So that there goes that. So I don't know. So there's so many different factors that's causing like with that contributes to inflation and prices going up because when everybody's begging for the menial jobs to have like to get paid as a developer for working at Walmart, then it's going to make prices go up as well. So I'm not sure if that's going to make that big of a difference. But I do have a comment on the lighting of Target of I do have a comment on the lighting of Walmart. Once we let's look at a couple of these real quick. So we have two more articles to get through today, and then we will call it a day, and we will be on with our day. So, coming soon to your local Walmart. Refresh interiors and exteriors, new paint, flooring, modernized restrooms. Ooh, they're probably gonna have the censored um water and toilets and stuff like that. Big improvement for Walmart, I must say. LED lighting, more self checkout areas. I love self checkout, and more. I remember at Walmart, like the lines would be like almost out the door because they were so long, especially at night. And now you can just get through with the self checkout in like a few minutes. Bigger pharmacies with private screening rooms for pharmacists consultations and services. For comparison, in 2022, Costco plans to spend $4 billion. 2022, Target Corporation announced a plan to invest up to $5 billion to scale operations. But you gotta think about it with this too, right? Walmart has a lot more stores than Costco and Target. So them spending 9 billion is kind of a drop in the bucket for them, um, which we're gonna pay anyways. But so the comparison to Costco and Target is not it's not really a fair comparison. Let's go to So it goes. Let's go to this one. I am thrilled to celebrate the grand opening of 117 remodel Walmart stores this week. An investment of more than $500 million in 30 states. This is the largest since a single day rollout of grand openings in the history of Walmart, and I am excited to share all the innovative features to elevate our customer and associates experience. Okay, and this was a senior talent acquisition partner at Sam's Club. So okay, they work for Walmart or the parent company of Walmart, anyways, right? So here is my theory on Walmart because you would always hear like how much quote unquote better that Target is than Walmart, and they would even call it like Target. But my theory of why people thought that is because not not only that Target has the same products at higher prices, but they had way better lighting than Walmart. A lot of times when you'd walk into Walmart, the lighting would be like kind of dim and it would look like the products are a lot cheaper than other stores because the lighting is so dim, right? But when you walk into like a Target, it's so bright and everything is spaced out in a way that they're not on top of each other. So it looks like there's scarcity at Target, and then you would feel like you're buying something of better quality, paying more money. It makes you it makes you feel good for I don't know why, but it makes you feel good because you're paying more money in a better lighted environment. Where at Walmart, I think the lighting would be slightly dim to attract other customers who would not be wanting to pay more money at Target, and then you'd have that. So I wonder if that's going to make any difference now by having the better lighting. If people will, if that's going to drive people to other places, or is that going to bring the target crowd to? Is that going to bring the target crowd to Walmart? We shall see. All right, let's move on to our next one. So here. All right. So the next one, Toyota's new $8 billion bet on hybrids. All right. I'll talk about the hybrid in a second. All right. So Toyota wants in on the hybrid resurgence. The Japanese automaker announced Tuesday that it plans to deepen its investment in hybrid models with an additional $8 billion going towards its new battery production plant in Liberty, North Carolina, the Wall Street Journal reports. So I want to say that's awesome for those working in the production plant in Liberty, North Carolina, unless it is a bunch of robots who are doing the work, and then there's not that many people working in the plant. So, but if there are a lot of people, then that is awesome, and I hope you guys continue to grow and get more employees over there. All right. Now, the now $14 billion investment will dedicate 10 of 14 assembly lines to both EV and plug-in hybrid batteries, and it gives Toyota the flexibility to toggle between full EVs and hybrids as demand shifts. The move comes as interest in fully electric vehicles gets shaky and as demand picks up for hybrids. I did not know that demand was getting shaky for electric vehicles. Um, I will, we'll click on that link afterwards, but I'm curious to see about that. As the electric vehicle market faces headwinds, Tesla's valuation is set to drop 145 billion, 145 billion amid weakening demands. Well, I will have to see what happens with my Tesla stock. All right. So let's see. I think that as folks realize that 100% electrification simply isn't viable with current technology or infrastructure, we're going to see a resurgence of hybrids. I would never even consider an EV, but I'd be first in line for a viable hybrid truck that could actually tow a trailer. That is a good point. Let's see. This is too long to read. This is like reading the whole article again, right? Come on. Right, so it will boost. All right, so this is the same thing. Anything here? It's saying the same thing. Saying the same thing. All right, let's read this real quick. How quickly things change. Major issues are the high cost of most EVs, lack of the infrastructure, and high interest rates. Right now, only a limited part of the driving public can afford EVs. Also, people living in cities and condos or apartments can't easily take advantage of home charging. The auto industry, pushed by competition from Tesla and government incentives, seem to have ignored hybrids or plug-in hybrids, which would have been an easier transition. Toyota CEO has predicted this would happen, and analysis scoffed at him. Oh, that is so interesting. That's a good point. That is a good point. So, what time? We have 8 minutes left. Let me just take a quick click on this right here, right? Just want to see what that says. As the auto industry races to transition to electric vehicles, consumer interest isn't keeping pace. Buyers have been deterred by EVs' limit range and high cost, prompting companies, including Tesla, to lower prices and update and offer other incentives. Despite car maker investments and government support, market share has stagnated at 9%, according to JD Power data. Lower growth and unsold inventory have companies, including Ford and Toyota, turning their focus to hybrids, where sales are surging. Interesting. That is interesting. I did not know that. See, and this is why I like to do this in the morning. We learn something new, right? So let's. So the thing about the hybrid, right? I don't. Maybe I have some type of bias or something, but every time like I would see the hybrid on the highway or on the road, I would just like get annoyed. I don't know why. I don't know anything about the driver, but they would always have that carpool lane sticker, the high occupancy vehicle, and I don't know. It's it's not them. It's me. It's me. I don't mind hybrids. Maybe it's just the I don't know. Maybe I just had a bad experience with the Prius, and I don't know. So maybe that's what it is. I need to fix that about myself. So Brandon says Liberty is in my area. Do you think it would bring some QA jobs? Uh, it it would bring some QA jobs. I'm not sure what type though. Because there's QA in everything, right? So it it would bring some QA jobs. Like it might not necessarily be software QA. I don't know. It's a good question. I'm going to look into that to learn a little bit more about it, and then on the next stream I can talk about it a little bit more. But it just depends on how many jobs if and it depends on what they're doing at the factory. But there's going to be some type of testing that's necessary if they don't have it in place already. But they might be bringing some people in. But QA has a wide span, right? From like if you ever bought something and you get a little card or sticker in there and says quality controlled by whatever the person's number or ID is, right? That's also QA. It's just a different type of QA than what we're traditionally talking about, where it's like software and software QA and IT QA and stuff like that. But as there's growth in those companies, there's definitely going to be opportunities. We just have to properly mine them out. So, but we'll talk about that a little bit more, Brandon. So great question. It is way too early for that. All right, let's get to our last article. So, doctor weighs AI's role in care. And we love AI around here. So, let's get to it. It says medicine, like many fields, is grappling with the invasion of, they call it an invasion, my goodness, with the invasion of artificial intelligence. And many doctors aren't convinced the tech should go beyond repetitive or administrative tasks. Two in three doctors worry the tech could provide flawed diagnoses and treatment options, Access reports, citing a new Medscape survey. Interestingly, experienced doctors between the age of 45 and 64 were most excited about AI's potential than their younger counterparts, likely because they have more patient care experience, while new studies point to the tech's promise in diagnosing illness such as breast cancer. Earlier iterations of AI had unintended negative consequences. So, this is an interesting one, because AI is getting very popular. Like I use AI a lot for different things, right? For example, working on like when I with my coaching group, taking them through the Scrum process. Like we're building a little project so they can have the experience of a full like a software development experience, right? So when I'm writing user stories, I will just give a general description. Hey, I need a user story that talks about doing this, this, and this, and then it gives me a nice user story with acceptance criteria, all this stuff, and then I can just like make some modifications and edits to it, right? And then I'm able so a user story that could take you like 15, 20, 30 minutes to write, like one story, right? I'm able to get it done in like 3, 4, 5 minutes, right? With the modifications saved and everything. And it writes a long thing, right? So and even like with YouTube descriptions, pretty much everything, right? You just have to know how to properly use it. Now, when it comes to someone's health, that's different. The thing is, right? My take on AI is that AI is only as good as the person who is putting data into it, right? Because I'll see people who say like, "Oh, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I use AI and created it created this code for me, right?" But then if you try to have them troubleshoot the code or explain it, then it's going to be hell on earth, right? So I think that it's not necessarily AI that's the problem. The problem is going to be who is using the AI to generate this information. So what? So I see what to me, this isn't a concern as much with AI as the people who are going to be using AI um, to get to the these diagnoses and stuff like that, right? Because even if you put something in and AI doesn't give you like 100% accurate information, as a doctor, you should be able to like at least get a starting point and then navigate from there to put in your expertise that you spent all that time in medical and in college for in medical school for to get it. To me, AI just gets me like it gets me a good starting point, and then I have to like do the work to finish it off. But it is a lot easier than starting from zero when I can start at like 50, 60% and then go through it, make corrections, and put in my own take on it, right? So that's how I see it. That's how I see it. I can see like and at the same time, right? This reminds me of when Uber was getting popular, right? And there were cities like the taxi industry was lobbying to make Uber illegal, right? Because something new, they felt threatened, and by as we can see, the threat was real because now when people need to get somewhere, it's not oh let me call a taxi. It's let me get an Uber, right? Um, how often do you see those yellow taxis on the road? Like in South Florida, I don't see them that much. I'm curious to know anybody in New York, how like is the taxi still a big thing in New York? I mean, last time I went to New York, they were all over, so I'm guessing it's still pretty big, but maybe not as prevalent as it used to be, unless Uber's banned in New York. I don't know, but yeah. So to me, there's like many different competing ideas with it, whether it's a fear of something new, a fear of a lot of people fear technology as well, where you can tweak technology, but I think you have to use technology as an assistant and not as the end all be all. All right. So so let's read real quick, right? So let's see this. It's striking that approximately 30% of radiologists have already embraced AI-based tools. As we navigate an era where AI is an integral to healthcare, we must uphold stringent standards. Okay, I agree with that. I'm not gonna read this whole thing. FDA only regulates AI programs that are bought and sold. FDA does not regulate AI-based programs that are developed internally and used in patient care, which means the health system like Stanford Hospital and Clinics and Mayo Clinic can develop and deploy AI-based software tools internally without oversight. Well, the FDA. All right, let me not say anything about the FDA. Right, so let's keep going. Um, the New York Times reports that for FDA cleared AI tools, healthcare professionals are not finding answers to questions like how was the program built, how many people was it tested on. It is likely to identify something a typical doctor would miss. Well, that's great. So I think that's good enough for today. Let's I think that's good enough for today. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Andrew and Brandon. It was amazing to have you guys here. And I will figure out how I'm gonna do this because I think it's good to wake up and get some coffee and read some news articles. But also I need to find a way to also put in some practice, practice our QA skills, our coding skills as well. And I think there's no better time than to eat the frog, do it in the morning, and go from there. So, with that being said, let's go back to our full screen. Hope you guys had a great time, and I appreciate you tuning in. But that is it for today. We got to get ready. We have to get to work, and let's go out there and crush it. All right, let's go out there and crush it, and have an amazing, amazing day. You guys have a good one, and I will talk to you later. Look out for our software explorations coming out at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about diving deeper into Docker. All right. But until next time, you guys have a wonderful day. This is Tech Coach Ralph signing off.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.